Okay, today the fine folks over at BENFEI sent me a couple of items that's bound to make the use of my MacBook Pro a lot easier on the go or when stationary. We're going to take a look at the 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure and the BENFEI multifunctional laptop stand with, which this is what makes this unique, includes a docking station in the base. So pairing these two together, this should be a pretty cool combination. Let's take a look at it in this edition of retroCombs Tech. Okay, as we always do, it's unboxing time. Let's start with the 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure. I'm going to go ahead and move the stand for now. Let's take a look on the back. You can see some of the specifications here. Now, this is USB-C, USB-A input, so you're only going to get 5 gigabits per second. This is not for high-speed transfer, but this will be fine for secondary storage. You'll see that we need to install a SATA 3 2.5-inch HDD SSD. We're going to stick an SSD into this one. All right, let's see what we get inside. All right, pretty standard. There's our hard drive enclosure and a set of instructions. I'm sure we will use those instructions to install the hard drive. Let's see what we have here. Seems pretty easy. This is plastic, pretty rudimentary, but again, basically what you need. And I do like this. If we pull off our little protection here off the USB-A, we can pull this, flop, and now we are on a USB-C connection. So you do have both without having to worry about losing your adapter. Kind of a nice touch there. To install the SSD, it's supposed to be really kind of like those model kits, those click-to-fit model kits from back in the day. We're just simply going to open this. Oh, here we go. Here's some tools inside as well as thermal pads for us. And we're just going to drop that drive in here, snap it into place, plug it in, and we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and put these back in here so I do not lose these. And let's look at the exciting part of this little unboxing, which is the multifunction laptop stand with docking station. You can look around here. It does support HDMI, 4K at 60 Hertz. We do have PD, 100 watts in, 4 USB 3.0 ports, and of course, the main function itself is the laptop stand. All right, let's open her up. Oh, this is very heavy, very nice. Let's see, here's our instructions. Let's take a quick look at those before we get started, as we do with every video. Just a quick look at the instructions to see what you get. Make sure we have everything we need to get started. Pretty basic. I mean, it is a stand with a laptop USB hub. Should be easy, right? Easy peasy. Uh-oh. Get me started with this. Okay, so here is the stand. See, it has BENFEI right on there. This is all aluminum. Very nice. It does have grips here and here to keep the laptop steady. And we will drop a laptop in this in just a minute so you can see how the laptop fits. So we can fold it out this way and then fold it up this way. Wow, it is sturdy too. Those are not moving. Now I assume, and we'll check this out. Let's look on the side here. We should have adjustments. Nothing on this side. Let's see over here. Nothing over here. So there's no way to adjust it. So I'm going to assume this is not going to loosen up on us. They do not include an Allen wrench, which a lot of times these include an Allen wrench so that you can tighten it. So they are assuming that your adjustments will never, or your connections here are not going to ever be loose so that it won't support your laptop. I would feel a little bit better if I thought I could actually tighten those up, but let's trust them. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt for now. You see, we do have some holes here to release some heat. Now it is aluminum, so it will naturally release some heat as well and absorb that heat, which is nice. Here's the base. Now the base is the part that includes the interesting feature, which is the USB hub. And this is a USB-C into your MacBook. Now, I'm saying MacBook. This will also work with a Windows or Linux PC. Okay, you can kind of see the rubber here, the design of that. That's really nice. That keeps it from moving. So really nicely done. I mean, that's not moving. You can see as I'm pulling this, I'm actually shaking the camera. The whole table is moving with this. So I really like the support here to keep this thing from moving around. Here is the hub itself. So you see here, we have a USB-C right here. That will be where we'll inject power. So you would want to use a USB-C power adapter. That will provide power since we're plugging in to the computer with this USB-C. You'll get power. So it's one power solution, which is nice. You also have HDMI out, so if you need to plug in another HDMI monitor, you can do that. And then on the front, check this out. I really like this. When I plug this in, I'm now going to get access to 3 And you can see they're blue, so they're USB 3.0 ports. All right, so there's taking a look at the unboxing of the BENFEI Laptop Stand and the hard drive enclosure. Let's take a look at it in use with a Mac. All right, before we mess around with the laptop stand, let's see if we can install an SSD into the SSD hard drive enclosure. Let's go ahead and open this up. I think I mentioned in the unboxing video that these are thermal pads. These are not thermal pads. These are simply spacers. So I want to make that correction here. And you choose the spacer depending on how thick your hard drive is. In this case, we'll be using a PNY solid state hard drive. This is a 1 terabyte SATA 3, 6 gigabits per second. Now, the point of this enclosure is, as you saw, it's just pretty much click and fit, snap to fit. So let's see if we can do this. Let's go ahead and plug this in here. Line that connector up with the hard drive, push it in, close it down. There you go. It's in. Pretty easy. And then, of course, you would select, I would probably, based on this one, select this pad right here. But for this demo, I'm not going to do that. Just going to go ahead and place the top on. And let me check something. Yeah, this is not even moving. So I think we're in good shape without the pads, but I could see applications where you might need that. Now, again, the great thing about this is we do have USB-A and USB-C connectors. So I'm going to run a speed test, and you can see those speed tests right here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the stand and see how it works with the Mac. So this is my studio here for live streaming, but let's go ahead and just, for now, see what this looks like. Here's my MacBook Pro. This is an M2, and you can see that sits on there very nicely. Very solid. I do like, again, the grips on the bottom really hold this in place and keep it from moving around. I cannot move that, which is nice. Then the next thing you want to do is take your USB-C, plug that in to your MacBook. That will activate your ports here and here. And there's also a plug over here on the left, and that's where you'll plug your power. So you have one single power that supplies power to this cable from the hub to the laptop. You can hear it just donged, and then we can pull this up, and sure enough, we are charging and it's working. Now let's go ahead and plug in the hard drive and see if that's connecting. So our drive light is active, and it is showing up right here. Perfect. Okay, let me go ahead and eject this, and let's look at how adjustable this stand is. So I've got it pretty high right here, but you can see you can lower, you can tilt it this way, you can go back here, so you can get a lot of different view angles depending on your need. You could use it in this situation here. The goal for me, though, is to get that camera up high, so when I am on virtual meetings, that I get that camera up there right about aligned with my eye right there. So that's pretty good. That's a little low, but then I can adjust this back a little bit. So for virtual meetings, that sets that camera up a lot higher. I like that. And then I think probably what I would do is if I'm using this normally in a desktop setting, then I would have a keyboard here and a couple of monitors. Well, in that case, though, let me show you how I am using this. I have video from a location where I use this stand in a work environment. You can see here, I have the MacBook Pro in the middle. I have winged that with two HDMI monitors, and you can see I have a keyboard and a wireless mouse. It's a pretty cool setup. I like it. And again, it gets that camera up at a good height so that people aren't looking up my nose during virtual meetings. Okay, that's a look at the BENFEI Laptop Stand and USB hard drive enclosure. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more accessories for your Mac, be sure and check out this playlist right here. Until next time, that's it for me. retroCombs out.